So, continuing our conversation further with Ray Dalio's book, I thought today we will talk about the first principle he mentions in changing world order, why nations succeed and fail. One of the first things he touches upon is the importance of studying history. That to know what is going to happen in the future, to see what to anticipate in the future, he says we must look back and study history. So, Anand, what is your opinion about this?
Absolutely true. See, because if this were the given circumstances, what would happen is what we are going to study. And humans are only economics and markets is 99% psychology and 1% science. So while we may technological advances may be new and we may have new, but our human brain is hardwired, our hardware is hardwired. So we do the basic things again and again. One of the most basic things is fight or flight, which is not decided by our thinking brain, which is our
Animal
primitive
instinct.
animal instinct. Amygdala சொல்லுவாங்க.
Correct.
The amygdala decides whether to fight or flight. That has not changed. What has changed is that courts used to come by telegraph wire. There was an open outcry system in the market,
Yeah, calling out. Okay.
calling out and shouting at each other. That has all has ended. Now it is all on the computer and all
Digital,
that digital. All these changes are, but human is still working on a 3 million-year-old
The evolutionary process.
evolutionary process, and the human brain decides psychology. See, even today, if you have not seen a snake all your life, the first time you see a snake, you are going to recoil. If you see fire, you won't touch it.
True.
Not
you're
everybody has
programmed.
got touched. Your mind is programmed to that.
Yes.
So your
Past.
emotions and past are transferred by gene after gene after gene. That is not going to see. When you see danger, you are going to either fight or you are going to take flight. One of the two you have to do. So this is the primary thing. So what happens in financial falls and big cycles?
What he talks about big cycles. Yes.
Yeah, couple of
500-year cycles.
500-year cycles. A couple of 1930s. My father didn't see 1930s. My father was born in 1938.
True.
My grandfather saw the panic of 1938.
True.
There was an effect in India also.
Yes.
My grandfather used to talk about bank failures and how he lost a lot of money on bank failures. But after the Reserve Bank has come, banks have not failed so fast as they have failed in the last 5 years. You had Yes Bank, you have Lakshmi Vilas Bank, then you have a lot of shadow banks collapsing. You have the Punjab Maharashtra Cooperative Bank, which has never happened before 2014. Whenever a bank collapsed, somebody
What
would
about Global Trust?
Yeah. Whenever it collapsed, somebody would rescue it.
Correct.
Punjab Maharashtra is the first case where you are left in the limbo for 10 years, right? But there was a history. This is from an Indian point of view. So if you go back to the United States, Franklin Templeton, the great investor, he is talking about playing poker to pay his college fees. And he invested in, if he left his money in 3 banks, the banks would vanish, money would vanish. So he spent a lot of time standing in queues. And his father was bankrupt in the depression. So obviously he knew what he was doing.
True.
But Templeton is dead. Templeton was born in the 20s. Now, even the generation immediately after that, which was born in the 1930s, is almost dead. That is, Buffett survives 91.
True.
99, this man survives, Charlie Munger. But Charlie Munger is the last of the people who knows what it was to be in the Great Depression and who is still alive.
He's a veteran, yes.
He was there in 1920. He was born during the roaring 20s. He saw the after effects of the Depression. But now we are talking, he is my grandfather's age. He is 6 years younger than my grandfather. So he 1, 2, 3. And today my nephews and nieces will be trading. So we are talking of 4 generations after a catastrophic collapse. There were several minor collapses like 73 to 73 collapse. There was an 82 collapse. There was a collapse in 87.
Then the
.com. And these are minor events. This is not an epoch-changing event where the reserve currency of a country changed. The British lost their currency status.
The world order changed.
Between 1914 and 1940, the world order changed.
Yes. In that book, he talks about first the Dutch, then how the English came, then after the English, the America came. Then now we do not know what's happening.
We don't know what is happening. So if you want to know what is happening, most people assume that China will be the next thing. That's obvious wrong, because China does not have an open system. Like we discussed yesterday, the Chinese oligarchs himself will be keeping his money in London and New York.
Okay.
Like the Russians have kept their money in London and New York.
Yuan will not become the reserve currency.
So yuan cannot be the reserve currency. So there is no, at that time there was an obvious candidate of the Russians, of the Americans taking over. Whether America can retrieve the situation that Trump
has done
from Bush in stages, but mainly what Trump did. Even Obama stepped on the wheel with Putin. Whether they can stretch it back and agree to be the world policeman and eke it out for 15, 20 years before a next liberal democracy comes with a currency is something we have to see.
Okay.
Now, how this violent change took place is 500 years of history will tell you. Like Amsterdam had the first listed company.
Yes, VOC.
It was called the Dutch East India Company.
Correct.
And everybody else is a copy of that.
Correct.
So that's the history he's talking. Holland dominated the world.
Which we'll save into our next video. I mean,
okay. So it started from there. From Holland, it went to England. It went in between. Briefly, Spain and France had some.
Those are all small cycles.
Small cycles. But the major cycles was Holland. Nobody will know it.
Correct. Nobody knows the Dutch.
Nobody knows the Dutch.
Because it's so far back.
It's so far back. Amsterdam is the financial capital. Nobody knows it.
Correct.
Now, London, because we are Indians, we know it.
Correct.
Right? But our kids won't know that.
No, they don't know.
So
they only see the American domination.
They see only the American. So if you don't read history, you are condemned to repeat it.
True.
Okay. There were a brilliant series called Thomas, in which said, those who forget the lessons of history are condemned to repeat them.
True.
But then you think that it happens the same way. It does not happen the same way. Those who forget history does not repeat itself.
In the exact form, it doesn't.
Yeah, but it rhymes.
True. You can see the patterns.
You can see the patterns. Now the pattern is American debt is huge.
Yes.
It's really huge.
But we haven't seen the run on the dollar yet.
You have not yet seen the run on the dollar.
So, will we see or won't we see? We don't know.
You don't know. But you don't know. But this kind of monetary easing and monetary printing cannot continue.
There has to be a change.
There has to be a change. That you cannot, it's not working anymore. It's simply not working. Why it will lead to violences? It leads, like explained to you yesterday, it leads to an asset price inflation and leaves out the majority. That's why you have Occupy Wall Street.
True.
It's not an equal. There is has to
be. The rise of Trump is also because of it.
Yes. So you have to have a balance between labor and capital.
True.
After the
gap between the wealth and.
Yeah. So what has happened after Thatcher and Reagan is the role of capital has become so high and the role of labor has come down dramatically.
True.
The balance has to be restored. That's what history teaches us.
Anyways, it's an interesting conversation. I think next one we'll dive into what happened with the Dutch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching BReach. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as we had enjoyed having this discussion. Please kindly subscribe to this video and don't forget to turn on the bell notification. And if you really liked it, please consider sharing it with your friends and relatives. Once again, I thank you for supporting BReach. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to brirechenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.